Good morning and welcome back to another rambling session of an old fart in his shed. So this will be the third video I've done, the first one being doing an unboxing of a Harley Benson JA kit, building it straight from scratch to the point where we wire it in and make some noise. The second video I described why I started building guitars, and the first 3 guitars that I'd actually built. And today we have the first 3 guitars that kind of got me playing guitars and really kind of kept me inspired and took me down this journey of building guitars. I mentioned in a couple of other videos the black guitar, unbranded Japanese Les Paul copy with Bands pickups in, which was sent over to me by my dad's best friend who lives in America and owns a guitar shop, and also was in several bands in the 60s and a very good guitarist. So yeah, he broke down 2 Abanzas that had come in that weren't playable anymore, and he sent the electronics over to me, and I put them in this lovely Japanese Les Paul copy. This, as said, was given to me by a wonderful guy called Ivan, who lodged with me for several years, and during a period of unemployment he gave me this guitar to learn on and to kind of occupy my mind whilst I was looking for work, and I've been trying to learn it ever since. So yeah, this was the start, ground zero. It does still make noises. I've got a dead pot, unfortunately, so I'm only picking up the back pickup at the moment until I replace one of the pots. But it makes sound, and I do believe the first thing that Ivan ever taught me on this was riffed out one of Talking Head songs, I think. And the other thing he taught me was, if I can get this right, to this day to see whether my guitars are playing properly, because it's that lovely harmonisation. If it's not in tune or it's not in intonation, it kind of shows up pretty quickly in that, which you may have heard on that one. But it does sound nice. I've forgotten how nice it sounded. That is the guitar that started it all, got me learning guitar, but also gave me the passion to want to build the things. When I first started playing this, I felt the neck was too huge and the guitar was all wrong for me. In actual fact, it's really quite a nice neck. So that came to me in 1993, and it wasn't brand new when I got it, so that's you know, it's probably knocking on 40 years old back guitar. Love it to pieces, partly because of the history and the fact that, you know, it's the first guitar I upgraded as well, and it forms part of my mini collection now. None of the guitars are vastly valuable, they're all kind of in this range. So, having started to learn that, back end of 93, beginning of 94, I managed to find work, started working, saved some money up, had an inkling to go travelling. But I'm quite good at avoiding things, so what I did is I kind of put myself in a position with work. I was on 3-month rolling contracts, and I kind of put in a demand knowing it wouldn't be met, saying that I wanted to be put on a full contract, otherwise I was going to leave and go travelling. And having told the whole office that and everybody else, I kind of put myself in a position that if I didn't get this full-time contract, I'd kind of locked myself into travelling or looking a bit of a prat. Needless to say, they couldn't give me a 4-month contract, they could only roll the 3-month contract forward, so it's a lovely job I had at Nissan with some great people, but I left and I went travelling to America. First port of call obviously was going to see Barry. I flew into New York and then got a train up to Chicago and met Barry in Chicago, who was wanting to pop round the Chicago pawn shops and see if he could find any bargain guitars for his own guitar shop back in Tomah, Wisconsin. And during that trip we found this Celebration by Ovation C57, or CC57 I should say. Now Barry bought this guitar in the pawn shop. He managed to convince the guy to buy it off of him for $25, predominantly on, I don't know if you can see, if we can get a reflection. It's got some cracks in the varnish, as you can probably just see one just about there. And there's another one that runs all the way down here. And Barry convinced the guy that the soundboard had cracked, and therefore the guitar was pretty much worthless, and paid him $25 for this, and then promptly sold it to me for $25. I suspect he probably paid less for it because Barry always makes a profit. Nevertheless, that was in '95 when the exchange rate was $2 to £1. So this cost me a grand total of £12.5 for an Ovation. I know it's a cheap end, it's a celebrity, but a celebrity Ovation CC57 on eBay these days will cost you 300 quid. So again, not breaking the bank, but to get it for £12.5, I'm quite chuffed about that. And then this went travelling with me for 12,500 miles, from Chicago to Wisconsin to Salt Lake City, Salt Lake City to San Francisco, San Francisco to Vegas, Vegas to Little Rock to Virginia Beach, from Virginia Beach to Richmond, Virginia. And then it came home with me, and it's been with me ever since. And as an homage, I always have Barry's pick. Are we going to get it in focus? It's going to be backwards. Yeah, anyway, that's a pick that he gave me when I was out over there, and it's always been with the guitar. I don't particularly use a pick, but this thing, lovely little thing, really enjoyed it. And it's actually done probably the guitar I have played most out of all the guitars I have. It's been with me constantly within arm's reach, and I'm always just tinkering. A lot of times just this. Yeah, one of my absolute favourite guitars, and has now been with me for 30 years. I think I would have learned to play them properly by now, really, wouldn't you, after 30 years? And oddly enough, 30 years, that means there's a nice kind of lead over to the one here in the background you can't quite see. This is a beautiful guitar that I really don't have the skills to play. It's an absolute gorgeous Italian-made Echo 12-string guitar that, again, with the help of my old boss's husband, Tim, and my wonderful partner, got me this for my 30th birthday. So this I've had for 25 years. It is beautiful. I don't have brilliant fingers, and it is an immense amount of pressure. I mean, a lot more. I don't think I could do a no. Yeah, just don't have the skill to play it as much as I love to, and the action on it needs sorting out. I can get my finger under there, almost literally. So the truss rod needs sorting out. But otherwise, again, beautiful guitar. I have a 12-string Eco that's been donated to the charity I work for to do up in their workshop, which I'm kind of looking forward to getting around to doing. So it's just a little brief capture of the first 3 guitars that started my guitar history 32 years ago. Lots and lots of not playing for that. There's probably 15 years in that period where the guitars hung on the wall and didn't get played at all. Coupled with the fact that having Pt3 contraction disease, I've had my hands operated on 5 times and effectively had to relearn how to play the guitar each time. So it has been a bit of a struggle. I'm not a guitar player, I'm a guitar noise maker, and I'm not a professional guitar maker. I'm someone who just tits around with wood, so I don't kind of do anything particularly seriously or into kind of great in-depth kind of artistic detail. But there you go, it was just a quick video to introduce the 3 guitars that have kind of been a staple for me for the last 3 decades and got me into guitars and then pulled me back into it several times over those 3 decades until really the last 5 years. Would be 5 years, yeah, where I kind of rebuilt the AB blue one for Cho, and then the other little blue AB one for myself, and then really got into making the kits. But these are the 3 guitars that have kind of been a constant and have kind of kept me going and reinvigorated my enthusiasm for it every time it's kind of sloped off. And then someone's normally told me a kind of little trick or something or other, and I'll come back and oh yeah, and got all excited about it again, and then plateaued and stopped, and then had my hands operated on and start again, and then plateaued and stopped, and then someone showed me a little trick. You all know the life cycle of us guitarist-y type trying people. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling, and I'll end the video there. I will probably do my next video on the self-built, on the kit guitars really, and show you the first kit guitar I kind of built for myself outside of work, and the guitars I bought, because effectively, oh well, I did pay £12.50 for this one. I didn't really buy these were kind of presented to me, but there are a couple of guitars that I've actively gone out and chosen and sought and bought. Another 3, strangely enough, things seem to be in 3s. So another couple of videos coming on down the line where I'm going to be waffling on about the guitars I've bought and the kits, a few more kit guitars that I made. So, see you later. Bye.